Hi, Brent. Hi, Caitlin.
Hey, how are you, Sharrell? It's great to see you.
Nice to see you too. Let me go ahead and introduce you to my audience. Uh, now, Brent used to be a former producer on the Howard Stern show, right, Brent?
Correct. I was a senior producer and on-air talent for the Stern Show.
For how many years?
6 years.
So, listen, we share a mutual publicist, and today, Howard Stern, not Howard Stern, pardon me, Michael Rapaport is trending, right? Now,
Correct.
we talk about him almost on a daily basis on the show because he's one of the runner ups to replace Wendy Williams, allegedly. She's supposed to not have a problem. And so I personally think he should get the job. But we go back and forth in the audience. And I know, do you think he should get the job?
I don't. I think the other person is Sherri Shepard, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for two reasons. One, Sherri Shepard is entertaining in and of herself. She is not scared to share her real thoughts. There's a real person there with real emotions and real thoughts, and she has a really different view of the world that I really kind of enjoy. I enjoy seeing Sherri Shepard on, number one. And number two, this is something I feel very strongly about. I think Black women need more representation in society and in the media. And she is a strong, smart, entertaining, funny Black woman. And I think that the audience is going to more relate to her than they are to a rich Upper West Side white kid from Manhattan.
And then you have another personal reason why you just don't like Michael Rapaport.
I can't stand him.
There's real reasons behind it, though.
Yeah, there's real reasons. I challenged him to a fight on the Stern Show.
Let me give a quick background of how you guys got to this place. So you're working on the Howard Stern Show. You guys are open swingers. He was covering your story. And what was his reaction to you? I'm talking about Howard Stern, Brent, to you guys being swingers.
So Howard's reaction and the reaction of almost all the guys in the office was a very angry reaction towards myself. They thought it was cool what Caitlin was doing because, she's a beautiful woman, and thinking about a beautiful woman doing things like that was cool to them. But for me, I got a lot of, how are you allowing this? Which I'm not her boss. How are you doing this? You're a bad person. You're it was just extreme vitriol and anger toward me. I told I was going to be divorced in 6 months, and my wife doesn't really love me, and I'm ugly. And it was just really, really, really nasty towards me when I was just trying to open up something that we were doing that's different.
It was very weird how everybody took it. And it's kind of becoming a big thing right now. People might not admit that they're swingers. But there is a huge percentage of people in the United States right now that are swinging.
So Brent, how did Michael Rapaport enter this scenario?
So Michael Rapaport, if you have to understand something about him, he is a kiss up, kick down type person. If you know what that means is he kisses up to the people that he feels are above him or can help him, and he kicks down to the people that he thinks are beneath him, which is a weird mentality anyway. So in his kiss up mentality was, I'm going to kiss up to Howard, and I'm going to take Howard's opinion to an extreme. And I'm going to call, he would call in, like he called in and he started all of this with me, all of it. He called in and I'm not going to repeat. I can't even repeat what he said on the air here. I mean, he said so many nasty, vile things. He made parody songs about my wife that basically insinuated that he wanted her to be sexually assaulted. And it just got nasty.
He called you a homophobic slur.
You're saying he made a diss track?
Yes, two of them.
Yeah.
Two of them that were parodies. Like there were parodies. So I got together with a very famous heavy metal band, and I actually wrote the song that I did. I didn't do a parody song. I wrote an original song to come back at him. But he was so misogynist and disrespectful to her, and he said he called me a homophobic slur on the air, a really bad homophobic slur on the air.
Wow.
And he is an empty human being. There is not a human being in there.
He literally threatened multiple times and multiple people. It was like a daily occurrence for people who were in your fantasy football league. That's how he kind of became had stuff to do with the Howard Stern show. Was he was in the fantasy football league with some of the Howard Stern people. They'll have like a couple celebrities in there too. And so everybody in the league, almost on a daily basis, he would tell them how he was going to sexually assault them, how he was going to stalk them, stand outside their window and wait for them and break into their home and sexually assault these men. It was insane. Like it was all the time. It was crazy. Like it was the ramblings of a madman.
And it was very repetitive. He did this over and over and over again. And with me, he was what bothers me is you can say anything you want to me. I'm on the air. I'm there to do verbal combat. But when you're disrespectful to her, and when you're disrespectful to her in a very misogynist way, I'm going to get really, really upset. And that's when I said to Howard on the air, I said, all the talking can end. We can go set up the UFC octagon at Madison Square Garden, and we can handle it like that. He wanted nothing to do with that.
Howard was ready to do it, and he backed out. He was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." So you want to talk a lot of stuff, but you're not going to back it up. You're not going to back it up. You're not going to own it.
Because where I come from, I'm a Southerner. Where I come from, if you disrespect a man's wife, like you got to be ready to have a physical confrontation.
So why do you think he shouldn't be on the Wendy Williams show?
Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, he, in my mind, in my opinion, and from what I've observed, he is definitely a misogynist, and he's definitely angry with women. The man has pled guilty to aggravated harassment of a woman.
Who did?
Michael Rapaport.
You can Google it.
Anybody can Google it.
What?
Yes.
Can you explain the situation that happened?
It was a woman. She was an actor, and he wanted to date her, and she didn't want to date him anymore. And he was, calling her and going to her place to a point where he had to plead guilty in court to aggravated harassment.
So I don't understand why this day and age, somebody like a business would want to hire somebody to take up this place of somebody like Wendy Williams when they literally, a man pled guilty to aggravated harassment.
That
doesn't sound like a great idea to me.
I can Google that?
You can Google it.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Yes. And the other reason is almost all of his insults towards other men he uses in some form or another an LGBTQ insult. And I think that's a drag, man. And that's what I mean about kissing up and kicking down. This is a community that has gotten enough pain and grief and discrimination for anybody to deal with. Mm-hmm. And to use them as an insult, I think is way out of line, way over the line. I think it's disrespectful and it's bigoted. I really, really do. And I don't think, someone like that is going to give value to an audience like that.
What happens if he's on the show for 6 months and then some other thing happens where he, ends up aggravated harassing a chick? What are you going to do then? Like, it sounds like a crazy concept to me. We're canceling and not allowing these people to do things. But yet this guy literally pled guilty and he's actually up for a job.
Well, so this is all crazy. So today he's trending for this video I'm about to show. He's on his social media, he's talking, and someone came literally and threw a snowball at him. Let me play this for the audience, and then we're going to get your thoughts on it.
This whole crap with this cancel culture and the... Shut up! Shut the up! Nobody wants to hear you've been talking all week. You don't care what you have to say, just stop talking. You got me right in my head. Damn it.
Okay, so that video's gone viral. Your thoughts?
Totally fake. Pro wrestling. Totally fake. So the person that hits him, the other voice you can hear is obviously his kid. Listen to his speech pattern. Sounds just like him, but a younger version of him. That's his kid. And I know Michael Rapaport. Michael Rapaport is a guy that if you insult him, he turns red and goes nuclear. If you hit him in the face with a snowball, you think he's going to have that calm of a reaction? If it was actually real, no way. That was pro wrestling, and it was bad pro wrestling at that. It's all fake. We call it in the radio business. We call the guys that do the morning shows. I'm sure you've heard them all, like Ryan Seacrest, and all these guys that do these kind of goofy nut hut type of morning shows. Like we call those zookeepers. So he's being a zookeeper. That's
Okay,
a
let
fake
me
bit.
make it clear, Brent. You're calling him out. You're saying that was staged, and not only was it staged, that was his son in the
Yeah.
video.
Yep.
Well, why would he do that? Why would he stage this?
He wants attention.
Because guess what? It worked.
He's trending.
He's trending. That's exactly why he would do that.
He wants the spotlight.
I mean,
But-
he's up for this job you're talking about, right? So
Mhm.
what better way to say, look, I'm entertaining. I'm polarizing. People are into me. And you've got to get things to go viral to be successful in our world. That's the world we live in. And he's an actor. This is what they do. He does. Nothing about this man is actually real. There's no real emotions there. If you notice, go back and watch when he was on True Romance and then watch when he was on the show Justified. It's the same cadence. It's the same character. It's almost the same words. He is a one-note person. He
Okay,
has
Brent.
one note.
Are you saying this because you don't like him, or you really honestly believe that he would do something like this for attention to rise in the structure to get the job?
Oh, I 100% believe it. He said all kinds of things on the Stern Show that were not true to try to get attention on the show. Like he would come in and there was a show after the Stern Show called the Wrap-Up Show, and he was on there even more. And he would come in there and say, people are talking to me on the street about our fantasy football league, and they're saying this and they're saying that. Nobody's talking to him on the street about it. Like it's all made up nonsense. He is not real. It is as scripted as WWE, except Vince McMahon does a way better job, and those guys do a way better job at it.
Also, you've spent decades creating bits yourself and doing works on the air. You can see one when you're used to creating them.
And my last question, do you want to smooth it over your comments on Michael not getting the job? Do you want to add any yeah, he's not that bad of a guy, I just don't like him, or you just stand firm in your statement?
I stand firmly. Like there's exactly. I've been in the entertainment business almost 30 years, and there's exactly two people that I feel this way about. Michael Rapaport is number one on my list.
Wow.
He to me, in my personal experience with him and what I've observed personally, it was not once or twice. I'm talking about this is over the course of a few years. He is a repugnant human being in my opinion.
You said you thought he was a sociopath.
I do think he is a sociopath. Completely lacking any human empathy. I think he is completely empty inside as far as love and human emotion and empathy for him.
Brent, you got to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Both of you guys got to come back, because what if he gets the job? We got to talk about it.
You have to have me on the wrap-up show if he gets the job. And you know what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll break down how bad of a broadcaster he is. Why?
Oh,
You show me clips and I'll tell you why it's bad broadcast. Because he's a terrible stand-up comedian. Terrible.
the mask is going to slip. So I'm giving it, like, if you were to get that, I think 6 months, a year max before his mask slips and he gets in trouble for being who he is.
You think
Can't
if
help
he
it.
gets the job, he'll eventually lose the job?
I think so. If he gets it, I think so. He's going to do something and he's going to get canceled.
Yeah, when you get it, this job, like, so now when you're on network TV every day, you got the Twitter mob is going to come for him.
You can only hold it in place and be fake and pretend to be like a decent human being for so long when you're somebody like him. His mask, this is what Brent says, his mask is going to slip. You can only do it for so long. So if he really is a sociopath, which Brent firmly believes he is, you can only hold it for so long.
And the other thing, let's not forget, Sherri Shepard is entertaining. She's
Yeah.
a sweet person. She's funny. She's real. And she has thoughts that are not the same as everybody else. And that's what makes her actually interesting for TV. And I think the audience will relate to Sherri Shepard a lot more than they'll relate to a guy that's never really worked and never really had a bad day in his life.
What does he do? Just yell at people and tell them how he's going to sexually assault them and stalk them? I mean, that's the only content he ever brought to the table. I mean, I listened to him on the Stern Show. All he does is scream and yell at least a handful of men. He is threatening.
Oh, you guys are
It's insane. It's crazy.
Brent, I'm keeping you and Caitlin on speed dial. We talk about him all the time. I might need you to come back to give your opinions on some of these videos we do about him. Would you do
Absolutely. I'd love it. I would love it.
that? Okay. All right. So I'm going to hold you guys to that because we cover him practically every other day. It's constant. So
Oh, Brent has
since,
lots of opinions on him and will absolutely 100% give all of his opinions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
this has been a great interview, you guys.
Thank you.
So much. I really appreciate it. And I'm really glad that you're coming back. It's going to be great.
Yay.
Sherrell, thank you so much for taking your time and having us on. We
Yeah.
really, really appreciate it.